With Locktober trending this month within kink communities, I wanted to address some of the biggest misconceptions about male chastity today as we begin a two-part series to celebrate female domination this month. So stay tuned as I reveal 6 of the biggest secrets behind male chastity and how you can successfully engage in this type of play with your female keyholder. Our first secret here today is male chastity should be female focused. All right, so here's the thing. The point of chastity is to deny yourself so that energy can be reserved for focusing on and serving your keyholder. Male chastity is not about drawing more attention to yourself. If you ever get on a Twitter rabbit trail, which I unfortunately did the other day, there was just this plethora of men showing off their caged roosters for the month of October as they're celebrating Locktober and it's trending and everything. It's like the focus is all on them. That is not the purpose of male chastity. That might be the purpose of Locktober, but it's not the purpose of male chastity. Male chastity should not exist to draw more attention to your rooster, gentlemen. All right, it's to ignore it. It's to channel that energy, channel that focus into serving and pleasing your keyholder. So there needs to be emotional and erotic incentive for the keyholder. This is what we talked about the last 2 weeks when we're going over the ACE model, how your partner needs an emotional and erotic connection to what you're saying. Same thing goes to the keyholder. So a few general rules here to best serve and please your keyholder as you are caged up, gentlemen, is number 1, focus on her sexual pleasure. And we're going to get into a little bit more of the fantasy versus reality later on in this video, but that's the first one. Focus on her sexual pleasure. Deny yourself so you can please her. You can focus on her. Number 2, focus on domestic servitude. Now, this is a big one that's commonly incorporated into male chastity, and it is a big draw for a lot of women to have that help in a domestic servitude type way. And you also want to focus on relational connection. All right, your female keyholder should feel connected, should feel pleased, and should get benefits from this situation. So again, the purpose of male chastity should be female focused. All right, and we're going to focus on these 3 main areas. The second one is male chastity should involve reality and compromise. Often the fantasy behind male chastity includes long bouts of time locked up at the hands of a cruel and a harsh mistress who will receive pleasure through oral stimulation and toys exclusively. Gentlemen, that is an unrealistic expectation to place on any woman, regardless of how dominant she is. All right, gentlemen, male chastity is not about withholding pleasure from your partner. She will still want flesh and blood. Oral is nice, but it's unrealistic and quite honestly selfish to expect any woman to be sexually satisfied with oral alone for months on end while you're locked up. She's still gonna want flesh and blood. She's still gonna want penetration too, and not just with toys. So keep that in mind. I know that you have a lot of fantasies about this, but your fantasy must be matched with some compromise in reality, or you are never gonna get close to what you seek, boys. Male chastity should adjust male focus. So like I was just saying, we cannot keep this in fantasy land. We have to compromise and bring some reality into it. With that being said, your fantasy, gentlemen, should become her reality. All right. And what I mean by that is the male fantasy needs to be tamed, compromised. And that's part of what can be accomplished when male chastity is executed appropriately. The goal as the key holder is to shift focus. The goal as the female key holder is to shift his focus off of his fantasies surrounding chastity to his discipline as a locked up submissive under your control. Do you see the difference, ladies? The focus needs to shift. The goal is not all attention on him, all focus on him all the time. It's not fantasy land all the time. The excitement should evolve from this fantasy about being locked up to some true humility and submission as they stay locked up under your control. Male chastity should also produce proper priorities. All right? Again, the point of male chastity is not to bring more attention to your locked up rooster. Gentlemen, the purpose is to reserve and focus that energy that you would normally be using to expend sexual release, emotional release, creative ideas, creative release, right? We're going to focus all of that energy. We're going to control that energy. We're going to hone that energy, and we are going to use that energy to submit and serve our key holder. All right, the focus needs to shift. The priority needs to shift. So I believe male chastity should produce 4 main priorities in the heart of a caged submissive. Number 1, genuine submission to her desires. 2, genuine surrender to her will. 3, genuine interest in her as a woman. And 4, genuine investment in the relational connection. All right, that's what this should produce. If we're no longer focusing on self-pleasure, self-satisfaction, and that energy is now being reserved to be channeled solely into serving and pleasing our dominant, then yes, those are some of the priorities that will begin to manifest key holders if you do this right, if you do this well, okay? So male chastity should also, and this is an important one, this should also be a type of play available to any and all femdom types, okay? No matter what dominant type you view yourself as, this should be available to you. Often in terms of the male chastity fantasy, the fantasy includes a very harsh, cruel demeanor and attitude from the key holder. And the way I look at it is if male chastity requires a certain attitude, demeanor, and actions from a femdom, male chastity is not an act of submission, but it's an act of male control over a service top. And ladies, don't allow any male submissive to convince you that you must act in a way that's foreign or uncomfortable, in a foreign or uncomfortable energy to be an effective key holder. All right? If you relate as a soft dom, if you relate as a mommy dom, you can absolutely still be an effective key holder. You don't have to be this cruel, heartless, cold, mean bitch. You can do it in a way that serves you, your personality, your energy, and your dynamic. All right? You don't have to be a degrader or a sadist to be an effective key holder. You don't have to be cold and harsh and cruel to be an effective key holder. And you certainly don't have to be large and physically overpowering to be an effective key holder. Being an effective key holder is all about, it's easier than you think, ladies. It's all about knowing what truly pleases you as a woman and as a lover. And then leveraging the energy being caged creates to your advantage. All right, so you got to be clear on what you want, ladies. You got to be clear on your energy, your power, your territory, what turns you on, what you like. And then you are going to use all of that pent-up energy that's under your control now. And you can release it when you want to release it in the way you want to release it. But until you go down that path, that energy stays ready to go and it's building at your command to be released on your command. So ladies, it's about leveraging that new focus, leveraging those new priorities, leveraging that energy to accomplish what serves you, pleases you as a woman, as a lover, if you're his wife, if whatever. Okay? This is about you stepping into some deep power, ladies. And the flip side, gentlemen, this is about a delicious act of surrender. If you truly wish to step down this path, gentlemen, I hope you're listening carefully. This is not about you. This is not about you getting your way all the time. This is not about her acting a certain way for you. This is not about her dressing a certain way for you. And if you think that's what male chastity is about, you are missing it. All right? So that brings me to my last point, and I think this is a common misconception when it comes to the realm of male chastity. And that is, male chastity does not make you a sissy. All right? Like I said, it's a common misconception that cross-dressing, feminization, and other forms of sissification are intrinsically linked to male chastity. But in reality, chastity can stand alone as a fetish within a dynamic with no elements of sissification. There are, though, other submissive males who use male chastity as a segue into the feminine realm. So how I look at it, as with anything in the lifestyle, really, it's all personal and organic. It's a personal, intimate, organic process. And I often phrase it like this: BDSM is not a closet to come out of, it is a buffet to choose from. So, as you're going down the kinky buffet, you can add male chastity to your plate without any cross-dressing, or throw heaping helpings of feminization next to it if you wish. It's all up to you and what feels safe and empowering and enjoyable to you and your partner. So make sure you're subscribed and have notifications turned on, because next week we're continuing this discussion with a handful of fun and creative chastity play ideas to please the caged and keyholder alike. And if you found this content helpful, hit like and subscribe if you haven't already. Click that notification bell so you'll never miss a post, and comment below with any questions you would like me to answer in an upcoming video.